Hey everyone, welcome to It's Time to Excel. Can you believe it? We are we're almost to the end of January. I'm not sure about you, but January kind of escaped through. I'm not quite sure what was going on there. It's been a little bit crazy, but I think that for my world is year end. Year end tends to be a little nutsoid on the accounting side and, trying to wrap everything up and pull everything together. But so be it. But welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so glad to have you here for those that are joining here live, as well as those that will join us on the replay. So, January, we have really been focusing in on the financials, the financial goals, things like that. And what we want to do now is say, how can we bring all of that together? Because goals are great, but you still got to track them. Whether we like it or not, you still got to track them. And part of that tracking and part of that is knowing your numbers. We talked a little bit about that as well this month. So how can we do that? My suggestion is very simple. Let's put a simple accounting system in place. Even better yet, let's get one that works for you. So what can we do? So let's talk a little bit about this and see what kind of our options are as we kind of talk about what these simple solutions could be. I'm always talking about a simple solution, especially when it comes to accounting. And yes, it is possible. And yes, you can actually have a simple system in place that doesn't add hours to your day, believe it or not, as long as it's done right. However, I know that can be a little bit overwhelming. And I also know that sometimes you think I'm crazy. Most days I am. It's okay. It's okay. But let's talk about this. And I want to use the analogy on WhackAMole. I had seen recently, probably on Facebook or whatever, the little whack-a-moles. Anybody remember those little whack-a-moles? I used to play whack-a-moles when I went to the amusement park. It was a fun little game. You got to knock out some frustrations while you're at it. These little moles popped up out of the holes, and you took that little mallet and you got to beat on them. Anybody remember doing that? It was a lot of fun. At least I had fun with it. Maybe I had a little, issues going on. I'm not sure, but it was a lot of fun. And the cool thing about the whack-a-mole game was it was reflexes, and it was peripheral vision, and it was like all the things putting it together, and you had to whack the moles as they pop their heads up and get them knocked back down. So, what did you think about that? The whole premise of that game, which that's all it was a game of whack-a-mole, is a fast reaction. And the faster your reaction, the higher your score. And think about that. If you have a quick reaction, you did better. How can you apply that same concept to your finances? Think about that for a minute. How much more effective could you be if you had a fast reaction to knowing your numbers? How much more effective could you be if you knew exactly how much you had to spend on materials, on supplies, on whatever? A faster reaction allows you a higher score. A faster reaction to knowing your numbers puts you much more into success. Think about that for a minute. And how can we do that? How can we have a faster reaction when it comes to our numbers? And part of that is, these moles come up out of nowhere. Like they were popping up left, right, over, under. Yeah, it's all over the place, and you were just constantly chasing them. How often in business do you feel like you are chasing those moles? And you're whacking away and you are not hitting a thing? That happens too. And I want to encourage you, let's put a stop to that. Let's get you more focused, and let's get you targeted and lasered in on being able to hit those moles, being able to control your finances with a simple accounting system. So let's talk about that. Most of you guys know that I do specialize in training for QuickBooks Online. There's a boatload out there. There's all kind of software. There's options. They're, all over the place as far as options. But I want you to think about a few things. What's the best option for you? You guys know. What is the best system for you? I'm always saying this. What is the best system for you? It's the one you're going to use. So what are you going to use? we are going to talk a little bit. So what are some of the things you need to consider? I am going to use QuickBooks, of course, as the example here today. And I want you to be thinking about it, because no matter what system you put into place, there's a few key things that you need to make sure are working in your favor. Because the ultimate goal is to be able to whack those moles as they come up. But the bigger picture is being able to see those moles and being expecting of them so that you can have a fast reaction. So let's do that. If we have a system such as QuickBooks, what are some of the benefits of QuickBooks that allows us to get that simple accounting system in place? One of the biggest things is the syncing, the auto syncing between your bank account and your credit cards. All too often, I talk to folks, especially if they don't have a system in place and they're just kind of getting started, or maybe they've been in business for a while and all of those lovely receipts are in the shoebox somewhere, stuffed in pockets somewhere, stuffed in the garbage and long gone, little things like that. They may have charged on their credit card, but they forgot about putting the receipt into the system because they didn't have a good system in place. So one of the nice things with QuickBooks is the auto syncing option. So you can actually connect your bank account and your credit card, and it will actually go out to your bank and download those transactions. So at least if nothing else, you have everything that's hit your business bank account and your business credit card. Yes, I did say business bank account and credit card. One of the other biggest thing is you got to remember your business and personal should be separate. They should not be intermingled. So when we're talking QuickBooks, I am talking your business accounts as they're coming through. And anything that's dealing with the business should be ran through those accounts. So the auto syncing. So the nice thing is it saves some of those keying errors. So that's very, very helpful. So everything that hit your business credit card, your business bank account, your debit card, etc., are all now being downloaded into your accounting software. So now all you've got to do is look at the line item and tell it where it belongs. Does it belong in mills? Does it belong in software? Does it belong in professional development? You get the idea. So where does those charges belong? The amount, the bank description, all is downloaded for you. So all you pretty much got to do is put the payee in there. Who'd you pay? Who'd you receive the money from? Either way, works the same way. And what was it for? What category? What coding do you need to put on that to get your records and your reports? Because your ultimate goal is those reports. So that's one of the first things as you're looking for an accounting system. Does it have sync abilities? That's one of the big keys. Let's take it a step further. I'm not sure about you, but I do a little bit better keeping up receipts if I deal with them immediately. So one thing that I do, one of the advantages of QuickBooks Online is it has a receipt snap feature, which means if I have my phone with me, which let's face facts, 98% of the time it's glued to us. It's a fact of life. And if you're in the younger teen, like I know teenage years and all that, I mean, it's an appendage. But anyhow, your phone is typically with you. And if your phone is with you, then what you can do is you can do this receipt snap. So I go and I purchase some office supplies for my company. I put on my business credit card. When I get out to the car, what do? I take 2 minutes. 2 minutes, yes, you can afford 2 minutes. Sometimes less if you do it quick enough. If you get distracted by the time you get out to the car, then do it, take a walk off to the corner and take care of it. But nonetheless, give yourself 2 minutes just to log in to QuickBooks on your phone and hit the little button that pretty much says snap receipt, which is called picture. And it allows you, so if you snap your receipt within QuickBooks Online on the app that's on your phone, it puts it into your QuickBooks. How about that? So now you have a JPEG sitting there waiting for you to tell what's going on. Then what you can do is, okay, you've already got that receipt connected to a transaction. We haven't done anything with it yet, but at least you've got it. Then I recommend, the audit brain in me just will not let go of throwing things away. So what I recommend is grab yourself an expandable folder, label them January through December, grab envelopes, label them January through December, doesn't matter, just get something that's half organized. And those expandable folders are like $4 or $5. It's well worth the investment, and it's a write-off because you're using it for your business expenses as you're going. Go ahead and then drop that receipt when you get home. Just drop it into that thing. You don't really have to get it out again, but it's there if you need it. So what did that do for us? We receipt snapped. Great. So what does that mean? It means the next time I can get into QuickBooks, which I should be spending a little time on my business. So for me, I do it at the end of the week. I log into QuickBooks. I go to the receipts tab, the receipts capture. They're all in these nice little, big listing of them. A couple of receipts. It's a couple a week. Come on. And As we're looking at that, guess what? I can click on each line item. I get a nice little picture of that receipt. And now I can put in the information. I can enter my payee. The computer will try to help you. It usually, if it can figure out a payee, it'll put it in there. It confirm which bank account. Is it a credit card, debit card? Just confirm that it recorded properly. If not, switch it. Takes you all of a few seconds. And then make sure you have any additional notes that you need and make sure the category is right. The cool thing is QuickBooks, as you train it, quote unquote, it tries to help you. That's good and bad. Just like Microsoft Excel, it tries to help you. Sometimes it doesn't help you. So take the extra minute and take a look at it. So this receipt snap pulls it in here. You've got a picture of it. You need to blow it up if you can't read it. Been known to do that. Make sure everything's coded. It's much easier. And if you still have it in your pocket at this point because you got in there and you're coding your receipts, take the extra 2 minutes, take a walk. You need a break anyway when you're done with your, doing your coding for the week in your accounting software, and go get those receipts and file them in that expandable folder in the appropriate month. Now you're done. You don't have to look them again. Because now what has happened is, remember, we've already auto-synced it. So we already have our transactions downloading from the bank when they clear, from the credit card when they clear. We have now just told the computer to be expecting these charges. Fabulous. Okay. Guess what? Now the two can be matched. And now it's even less work. So now when you sit down, you do your receipts first, you make sure everything's coded there, you come back onto your review screen, and 90% of your work is now done. Boy, we just dropped off some time pretty quickly. Wasn't too hard, wasn't too complicated. It takes a few minutes. Now all of a sudden, we're getting our records more up to date, which leads me to the next piece. The reports. As I said, whack-a-mole. The whole object is fast reaction, higher score. So how can we have a fast reaction? By knowing our numbers, which means on our phones, we can actually pull up reports. We can pull up profit and loss. We can pull up where we're sitting. We can pull up all of this information at our fingertips if we need to. I also recommend at that same time as you're coding, take a few extra minutes and look at your numbers, because you can run some reports, your profit and loss, where your sales at, what are you selling? There is many reports, and that is one of the biggest pluses that I have found with QuickBooks. And online has gotten much better. Each subscription level has more and more reports, but there are some customizability. It's not quite as good as where desktop was, but it's getting much better depending on what subscription level you are at. It's getting very close. However, bottom line is, you can get the information you need out of it as long as you put it in correctly up front. And by using these simple techniques, the receipt snap, the auto syncing, you will have decent reports at your fingertips. And if you know what you're working with, and you know, hey, wait a minute, I'm expected to have $5,000 in sales this month. It's the 25th of the month, and I only have 1,000 in. I got some issues. Because the other flip side is, I know from looking in the past how much money I need to operate. What is my budget? What are the expenses that I'm going to expend out in a particular month? If they're 2,000, I only get 1,000 in. I've got some things I need to tweak. If I know that, and the faster I know that, the better off I'm going to be to make any necessary corrections. Think about that. Having the information to be able to make rational decisions that are data-driven, not emotional-driven. Oh, that new software, I'm going to get that. I got money in the account. It's fine. I don't want you to make decisions that way. I want you to know what your numbers are. Go play whack-a-mole. It's all good. Some days you do feel as a business owner, you are playing whack-a-mole when it comes to finances. But flip side being, keep in mind the objective of whack-a-mole is fast reactions, higher score. I want you to have fast reactions so you can be more successful and hit your goals. We have talked so much this month about hitting your financial goals, finding ways to do that. It's all coming back to tracking. And you need to make sure that you are tracking your information and being able to run and create the reports you need to make good business decisions. And when you do that, you set yourself up for success. What more could you ask for? You are setting yourself up to achieve those goals. You are setting yourself up for long-term financial success. When you can adjust. When you know the direction you're going in. And you're not aiming those darts at a dartboard that's behind you. So that's what I want to encourage you to do. I want you to think about whack-a-mole. I want you to get it. It's fun. You know what? Let's make accounting fun to the best of our abilities. And if you need some assistance with that and you need to let's kind of talk that out, feel free, book a call with me. You can go over to chatwithjanet.com. Let's have a conversation because 2022 is here. Let's get you started off on the right foot for 2022 so that come end of year of 2022, not only are you having good information all year long, but come tax time, you can just email those reports right on over to your accountant sometime in January. What a novel concept. How nice would that be to have everything ready to go and on their plate by the end of January? Instead of you scrambling, pulling your hair out, chasing down receipts, trying to figure out what you did, it's all there for you. A few minutes a day, an hour a week can make a huge, huge difference. It is so worth it if you want to excel. And after all, it's time for you to excel. And I want to encourage that for 2022. And I'd love to encourage you to return back here every Wednesday, 11:30. We are here talking about different things. And of course, we're getting ready to roll out February's agenda. So make sure you check out the website, which we have updated. So if you want to go out to janetickes.com, yes, we do have a website that's up and coming here. I encourage you to pop on out there. That is where the events are listed. So different things are coming up. I would encourage you to check it out. Go to the events. So go to janetickes.com and then pop over to events and you'll see what's coming, the different topics that we're talking about. And we are really, really, really going to focus in on making sure your financial goals you're in the right direction. We want to make sure we get your financial records in place. We want to make sure you have good accounting systems in place and you're making good, educated, data-driven decisions, not emotional decisions. The numbers are what they are. It's a lot less scary. It's a lot less frustrating if you can take the emotion out of it. They're just numbers. That's all they are. So let's figure out a way that we can get our numbers to work with us instead of against us. And it can be done, but it does start with tracking. It starts with making sure you have a solid accounting system in place. If you'd like to learn more about QuickBooks Online, I'd love to have a conversation. There is a boatload of options out there. I can at least share some information. There's different subscription levels and there's different key pieces of those subscription levels. And depending on where you're at, depends on which level is going to be best for you. And I'd be glad to share some of that with you. Just book a call. Let's find out which one would work best for you. If you have questions, let's have a conversation. Let's see. And then you make the decision. This is your business after all. And the bottom line is my one goal for you is for you to excel. And I invite you to excel with me into 2022. One of the things I am opening up as well is some accounting services. I even have check-in and accountability services. So there's a little bit of a different variation coming into 2022 that I'm really excited to be rolling out. So if I can support you in that, that would be wonderful. Would love the opportunity. Let's chat and see how we can excel in 2022. Looking forward to seeing you. Thank you guys for those that joined us. Thank you for those that come back in on the replay. And I look forward to seeing you next week at 11:30. Have a good one, everyone. Take care.